So we basically where we left off in the first video, right? So what I need us to do is just to make some few tweaks on our UI and then get started with the API we'll be using. So I just need us to make some few changes, right? So yeah, let's head back to VS Code and do the changes that I need us to do. I need us to change the width of this. And so what happens here, I actually need to remove the border here. So let's see. So the border here is none in the home page. So it means it gets overridden by the style that I apply in here, because now I have a border here. So I need to make sure this style only applies to this, because the names are the same. So let's head to recipes. Let's see inputs. So I can use the parent div to specify that I'm actually referring to this one, so that the style doesn't get applied on the home page. So let me go in here and say recipes, and let's see. Boom. So I no longer have the border, right? And I also wanna push the button here so it can be inside the input. So let's go to home. The button here, border radius, top left 0, border bottom left 0, and I also want to make it move to the left. We can use this. Let's see. Yes, this is what I wanted. And we can also increase the input here, because now it seems like it's no longer long enough. Let's make it 450, or just 400, right? Yes, so this is what we basically have right now. Or also we can do this, have some outline when the input is, when there is a focus on the input, solid, and let's use this color, but the lighter one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. Let me make it 2, and also maybe increase this number here. Yeah, there it is. I think this is cool. Let's move to the second page and see if the changes we made here doesn't break this side. So all we need to do now is just to increase this button, so that it actually matches the size of this input in here. Let's go here, and we can also make this one 400. I need to duplicate this, but put button here, and padding, increase it by, I don't know if it was 13 or 14. Let's see. Is it the same? I don't know. Let me say 15. No. let me say 14, and in here make it 13. I hope this settles everything. Oh, also I need to, maybe I need to border margin left. Maybe let me make it 15. Yes, so pretty much I think we did what we need to do. I also need us to have a model. So you can see the information on this card is not enough, right? This is not enough information about this recipe. So we need to click a button that opens up a model that shows us more information about a specific uh recipe that we just clicked on. So if we clicked on carrot cake, obviously we'll have like different types of recipes. So if I click on see more, I would open a model that shows us more information about that specific recipe. I hope that makes sense. So let's also work on it. So we might need to have see more button here under the information here. So we're gonna need to go to recipe here. Let's just edit the first one, because eventually we're gonna have this recipe as a component, but then now we just try to build the UI and say see more. So recipe, then button, uh recipe button, and we're gonna have a background color. This is our color here. Padding, we don't want to have something big. Let's have something like this. Let's see. No, this is definitely huge. Maybe 3. Border none, color white, and yeah, 7. Maybe border radius, let's try something like this. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I don't know, let's make the font size to be actually smaller. No ways. Seems like 10 might be appropriate here. Yeah, so when we click on this see more, because of course now it doesn't do anything. So when we click on this see more, ideally we want to open up a model that shows us more information about this, right? So in order to do that, I think we need to move this div here into its own component. Let me copy this and go into here, and let me say have a folder called recipe, and in here we're gonna have the recipe.js, and of course we need to create a component. Paste this here and go into our delete everything. Cool. Let's import the recipe we just created right now and have duplicates. Oh, it's okay. Let's see, we didn't change much, just move these things into their own components now. So now you can see we have this see more button, right? So okay, now we need to open up a model when we click here, right? So let's create a component called model that will actually do that for us. When we click here, we're gonna pass in information for onto that model, and then it will show us more information about this, right? um Close these. Okay. um Model.js, and also we need to create the css. Let's create, no, this is for Next.js, this is React. Okay, we're gonna have class name model container, and then let's import the styles here, model.css. We're also gonna have model inner. Yeah, let's save this. So not inner. So let's think how we want the model to look like, right? We're gonna have a header, a class name header, a div, no, header, and then in here we're gonna have the name of that recipe, right? Oh no. Let's, for now we're building with carrot cake, and then we're also gonna have a button that actually closes the model once it's open. You're gonna see this, so we're gonna see this now. We're just building up this thing. Close model, and we're gonna have model content. In the content, we actually going to display a few things, right? We're gonna have the ingredients, all of them, because with the in here, where's the recipe file? In here, we're just going to here's the ingredients. We're just going to display only a few of them, right? But then when you click more, you're going to see a lot more of this recipe, right? Let's say small, something like this. And under ingredients, we're going to have a table that actually shows us the ingredients and their calories, right? Like, okay, so let's say we have potassium is gonna show us how much of this potassium is in this ingredient, I mean in this recipe, right? A lot of this will make sense once we start working with the API. So let's do the table. Table, and then we have t head, table head. In the table head, we're gonna have a row, table row, and then we're gonna have this ingredient. We also gonna have the measurement, the calories. So we also gonna have a t body, like a table body. Table body will basically have t row, and then t row will have data. We can say magnesium and 10 grams, something like this. Sodium, calcium, and what else? I don't know, cholesterol. Right, so this is basically the model, but we haven't even styled it yet. So we also don't even have it here. So even when I click here, we still doesn't have, we still don't see anything, right? So let's come in here. I need us to have a state, right? So this button will trigger a state. So this state will have a true or false. Once the state is true, it means you need to show up the model. Once it's false, you need to close it up, right? So let's have the state here. And then in here, we're gonna have, let's just say model, set model, and then it's gonna have a state of true or false. We're gonna start with false, and then we're gonna have a function here, say handle model. What this function will do will basically change the model from true to false and false to true. Cool. So this function here, we're gonna reference it here. On click this, and let's have the model here. So we're gonna have the model. So the model is a state which is true or false, which is a boolean. So depending on the state, we're gonna have the model here, which is this component, and ideally we're going to send data into this model so it can display it. But then for now we don't have anything because we are not dealing with the API. We're just gonna leave it like this and deal with the mock data. Let's see. So I hope like now when I click the see more, something will appear on the screen. Yes, so you can see here's the model, right? Obviously it messes up with the card here because it assumes it wants to be in here. So we want to make it position absolute so it takes up the whole screen. So now we need to style the model. We have a model container. We're gonna start by positioning it, giving it a fixed position, right, at the top, and start at the left with the position, with the width of 100. With height also the same thing, and we can give it a background color, I don't know, maybe white, and maybe to be on top of everything. This is the model container, and then we want to push the model inner. So we're gonna use the display flags and align item center, justify content center. So we can move to model, inner, and maybe give it a background color of, I don't know, let's just say red for now, and then width of 400 pixels. Yes, let's see this. Cool. So you see now that that state was triggered. Let's see this. Let's say click here, it opens up the model, right? So we need to fix this. It doesn't look pretty at all. So we have header, which should have a color of what? We want everything to be white in there. Also, I don't think we're gonna deal with let's have white here, and then here have something a bit grayish. Okay, let's see how it looks. It doesn't look that bad. Yeah, this okay, this looks okay. So we might actually need to remove this. Actually do display flex, justify content, space between. Yeah. um let's do this, increase it, and have some padding in here, maybe 20 and 40 top, bottom, left. Okay, for 20 top, and on the sides we're gonna have 40, right? Yeah, let's see. Ooh, seems a bit, or it's coming all right? And then obviously I think because we've been dealing with a lot of border radius, we might need to add it for some consistency. How much do we put it? How much do we give it? 5 needs to show. Okay, cool. And also let's deal with the table, right? So table, take it the whole width, boy, and the body, and then let's also maybe say t row and give it some padding. Actually, we're dealing with a lot of UI here, because I think like we should have done this in the first video, but it's just some changes that I thought we should make in the second video. I didn't have these ideas in the first video, so that's why we are actually implementing them in the second video. So also we need to do with the t head, give it some padding for consistency, and since it's a table head, we might need to give it a background color. I don't know, need something grayish too. And border radius, let's save these and see how everything looks. Oh no, I don't know if I do t theta. Okay, yeah. So also the close button, what was the name again? What was the name? Close model. Let's deal with that guy. Close model, border radius 10. No, we actually don't want any background on him, none, but we wanna give him the red color because it's a close button. Let's see. Oh, come on, make the changes already. What's going on? uh let's see why the changes don't apply. Okay, font weight. Yeah, I think everything now looks pretty okay. We might also need to maybe give it a bit of, what is this, border on the ingredients, but I think it's cool. Let's see the table. Where is the table color? What is it? This something a bit light, but then to show a bit of consistency, because we've been using that pink color, but it's a bit dark. It's a bit dark. Something light. Something light. Yeah, this is it. So of course it doesn't actually close. So let's also deal with that. I need us to wrap the UI so we can actually move to the API model. Let's now pass in a prop, cause say handle model, and then this will actually handle model. And of course we didn't pass in these we didn't pass the prop in here, not in here but in here. So let's do this and come here, handle model and handle model. This should work. So if I click here, it should close it. Close, open, close, open, close. So pretty much that's the UI. I think we are pretty much done with everything. So now I need us to move to the API, right? So first of all, obviously you're gonna need to register for this API in order for you to use it. So let's head to the website. Okay, so the name of the API is, or the website is AdMob. I think it's AdMob. I'm not sure about the pronunciation of this. So you can go to admob.com, and this is where you actually going to register to use their API. So they have 3 different types of API. So for us, we're gonna use this one, and then you can sign up. What you need to do is just to sign up. So you have the so we have different packages here. We can use the developer one, which is free, and then it allows you to make a few calls per month, 1,000 calls per month. I mean 10,000 calls per month. Of course you will not need to make 10,000 calls. So yeah, this is what you need. You get started, give it all the information that you your username, email, password, your organization. It could be anything, and then you're gonna choose what are we gonna choose. We're gonna choose the receipt search API and then the developer one, right? And you have to agree and you submit. So I have already created an account, and I'm just gonna um log in, right? So once you are in, you have registered or you have logged in, you can go into accounts, and then you can go to dashboard. So in the dashboard, that's where you're going to create an API key or application key that you're going to use in order for you to use the API, right? So applications, and then say create a new application. And for this, and you need to give the application the name, right? We can say it's a recipe app tutorial, and it is a YouTube video. Could be anything in the description. And create application. You're gonna get an application key and an application ID. That's what you're going to use. So you're gonna need to use this and this for you to make the API calls, right? So of course we haven't read how the API works, so let's go to the documentation and see how it actually works. Recipe and documentation. So this is like a lot of stuff, how it works, how it actually returns the values, and just like any API information you need, right? How to deal with pagination, image sizes, and everything. So for us, we actually gonna need to use this tab here. So here's the base URL for the recipes. To search recipes, you're gonna use this base URL. But then let's move to, oh, let's just say we're gonna use this one. This is the API we're gonna use. This is the base one. But then they say there is more information on this page. Let's look. So the entry point is this one. This is what we're gonna need to do almost everything. And then they say for each request you make, you need to have a mandatory parameter type with the value public. So we're going to make sure whenever we make a request, we have the type parameter with the value public, and of course with the application ID and the application key you saw in the dashboard, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is also how you can filter the results. You can filter them by scene, meal, and dish type. This is not the stuff we're going to do, right? So yeah, let's go back to code and see how this actually works. So for us, in order for us to make some request, because we are making a request to a third party source, or we're making a request to an API, we need to actually have a way to communicate with it, right? So we're gonna use Xuse to make, instead of using the fetch API, we're gonna use the Xuse because it allows us to write much simpler code. So let's install it. Open your terminal and go ahead and hit npm install Xuse. Give it a few minutes. So now we are done with installing Xuse, right? So let's set it up. We can close this one. In here we can have a folder called Xuse, and in here we're gonna have Xuse. We're gonna import Xuse from the package which just installed, or from Xuse. And we're gonna have to create an instance, right? Export default. Okay, let's do this. Let's have it like this: constant Xuse instance. Return Xuse.create. We're creating the Xuse instance. And so for every request, you remember they said we need to have the application ID, the application key, and then the type parameter be set to public, right? We need to set them in here so we don't actually have to hard code them. We don't have to hard code them in the recipe when we making those requests, right? So we're gonna have the application. Okay, let's head back to here. Let's head back to our dashboard. Accounts, dashboard. So I believe this is the last application we just created. Actually, let's go to applications. We created an application called tutorial view, and then we need to use this application ID, the application key, and the type set to public, right? So let's go to code, specify the app key. Go ahead and create your own app keys, because by the time this video gets published, I don't think I would have deleted this one. So you're gonna need to create your own. Don't rely on creating using mine. App ID, and the app ID is this one. We're gonna use it here. Type is set to public, and then normally what you need to do is to have these values in a .env file, the environment variable file, where you actually hide these keys, because you don't want them to be public, right? But then for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna leave them like this. And yeah, go ahead and create your own account on the dashboard and get these keys for your tutorial, and then export default Xuse instance. So whenever we use this Xuse instance, by no, we actually didn't do them correctly. This should be params. So params, have the semicolon here, please. So whenever we make a request, these values will be attached to that request, so that the API can authenticate us, can verify if this application exists, right? Cool. So what is it that we need now? We need to go to, also, okay, we just specified this, but we haven't specified where we are actually sending this. We are sending this here. Let's go back to our documentation and get the, no, where's the documentation here? So here's the entry point. I'm gonna copy this, come here, I'll put it here. And you can also read more here about how you're going to make the request, right? You can also see here that the app ID is attached, the app key, and the type to public. So for you actually to make the request, I'll show you how you actually going to make the request. Let's see. I think we are done in here. We need to move to recipes, right? So whenever you land on this page, you would have moved from home to this recipe page. So you'd have a value coming in using the React router. Here you're gonna have this value query here. So we're gonna need to use it. But I also need us to have some state here. Use state. And we're also gonna use the use effect. Cool. So we need to grab the query from use params hook, which comes with the okay, let me do this. React router DOM. Use params hooks. So this hook will actually return the parameters. So we would have this query, right? And then this query, I wanted to put it in state. The state we have, we are search here. Query, and let's attach the value here. Find it with the search, and on click, no, not on click, on change. Gonna say handle, maybe search, handle input. That one makes more sense. Handle input would change the value of the search every time the user enters something different. Constant handle input set search will be value. Of course, you're asking yourself where this value comes from. It comes from this constant value equals to e dot target dot value. Cool. But then we still haven't even made a query. We still haven't even made a call to the API. Let's actually try to write the function that fetches the recipes from the API. Let's have a function called fetch recipes, and it's gonna be an asynchronous function. So we need the async keyword here. And let's try to have a try catch block. So of course, when this hits, it needs to return null, because of course there is an error. So let's say constant response await, and now we can be able to use the Xuse instance that we created in why is it not suggesting? Oh no. So we might actually need to import it. Instance from here. Cool. Instance. Great, it's working. No. Dot get. We're gonna use a get function, and then to make a query you just have to have this query or this parameter here, and then you give it the value. The value is a what? Is our search. What we can do is console.log and see what this actually returns, right? This, let's have a function called, no, not the function, use effect hook here, which will just run that function when this page loads. We just want to see, we still have a lot of work, Still have a long way to go. Still have a long way to go. And let's just call this function here. Yes, so let's head back to our React app. We actually might need to open the inspect our developer tools. Go to console. We have an object. It has data. Inside the data we have hits. So the hits are the recipes that actually match the keyword cake, right? Because remember our search was cake, right? So this everything in here matches the keyword cake. You see champagne cake, everything, right? So what do we need? We need to go into data and hits. Cool. So what we need to return, okay, let's say data and return data dot hits. Cool. So next, what is it that we need to do next? Actually, remember, if you look at fetch recipes, it actually doesn't change much. It just returns this date, right? It doesn't even load it into our state, right? So let's have a state that actually holds the values of the recipes. It's gonna be an array, and let's do this constant load recipes, and let's have a function here which will be called, let's say, res no data and await. Okay, so I need to have these fetch recipes, and then this data will say set recipes. Great. So when this page loads, it will actually run this function. This function will fetch data and set it to recipe and set the data into here. So what we basically can do now is have this here say recipes dot map recipe return. We have a recipe here, and we're gonna need to pass in the data, right? Yes, and we go into recipe. We're gonna need to get data. Let's actually console this data and see how it actually looks, right? Data in here, let's save this, right? Let's not get any errors. So now you're getting, you see, now it means okay, it's working. So these are the heats. So now we have the data that we actually can display in here. We have the calories, here they are. We have the what is it, we have the ingredients here. This is where we have the ingredients, and we also have um what is this, we start information we need, is it digest, right? So yes, so a fat, it has fat, and the total calories of this fat is 408, and then it's in grams. Great. And then we also have an image. We also have an image here, or you have images here if you want to display using the small one or the regular size, or using the thumbnail. So far what we need is it's calories, digest, um ingredient lines, and image, and calories, and and then the name, and then the name is the label. All right, so let me try to type them before I forget. Let's try to destructure them from here. We have image, label, ingredient lines, digest, and calories from data. Okay, now let's give it these things the real names. So calories will actually be, okay, let's just do it like this. And then the ingredient lines is an array, which means we need to go over it. Map line return span. Actually, let's have something like index here. Okay, and then here we're gonna display line, and have a full stop and a space, and then the key here is gonna be the index. We also have nutrition. Nutrition is the digest, which is also an array. We only going to, let's slice it up and display only a few, maybe 5 things. Then map it, say digest, what's wrong now? One, oh, I haven't closed in this one. Let's see. Great. um Return span. If you go in here, you'll see that you have, where is it, digest, you'll have an object which has total and the unit, right? We're gonna use the total, the unit, and the label. So we're gonna have something like digest dot label. They're gonna be separated by a colon plus digest dot calories. Is it no total? And this is getting messy. Digest. No, we actually cannot go through digest and say, let's just say dick. And then even here say dick unit. I hope this ends up looking better than this. Actually, let me close this side menu here. And then also, of course, we need to remove this one. We no longer need it because now we have the image. Let's see if we have any errors. I love those ones. I'm kidding, I don't. Yo, there is a lot of them. Let's go down here. Can't read properties of undefined map. So there's definitely an array we're trying to cannot read in properties of undefined. Okay, let's do this. Was it digest? Let's see. Let's go back here and ensure that we have the right names. Ingredient lines. And what else? We had a digest, right? And digest. So what's the problem? Let's try to comment them out and see what the real issue is. Why can't we see the images? What's going on? Also the name. There's definitely something wrong. Console. Okay, let's move back here. So we passed in data. Let's go in here and ensure that we pass in the right information. Oh no. Oh, I know what the problem is. So let's go into here. If you console log this, you're gonna see the way we're trying to access the information is incorrect. We still need to go further into the object by saying dot recipe. Let's see. Right, do you see we have an object? So we have another object inside this object called recipe. So that's why we are actually getting this error. So let's say recipe from here and write it here. Surely now we're gonna have some results. Data is not defined. Where did I actually try to use data? Okay, here. Go back here, and I hope we get to see the results we've been looking for. Oh no, we are actually getting some errors again. Data is not defined. What's the issue? Let me refresh it and see what's the problem. Maybe. Okay, let me see. What's the problem? Okay, there we go. Took us some while to figure out this thing, and so this means we can now try to go through this array and also this array here. Let's see how they look. Okay, it's a mess, right? You can see that a lot of these, oh no, you can see a lot of these ones have more information than the other ones. Okay, so let's try to mitigate this. Let's just have a few stuff, right? Let's only have a few stuff in here. Maybe also let me slice this one. And also let me slice this one. Only two at max. Right. Another thing is we need to remove these trailing values here. Gonna, what is it? Is the unit, no, the total, the fixed, and let's see. Yes. So we have this. Oh no, what is this now? We can also come here. Where is it? Go to home. No, it's not home, it's actually recipe. And increase the width and make it 90%. Oh yeah, okay. Looks much better now. Okay. So yeah, this is what we have. Oh, also we need to change this. Go back to recipe, calories to fixed, and 0. We don't need any trading value. Right. So pretty much what we are left with is to deal with the model, right? So the model, this is also gonna be pretty easy to do. So in here we're gonna pass in data of which is data. Gonna pass in data. Oof, oof. This is the data of this specific specific recipe. So we have this. Let's go in here. We can copy this line because we still need similar to we still gonna need to do something similar like this. Now we don't need, let's see, when we open the model, what we need. Okay, we need the name and the ingredients. Okay, we don't need this. We don't, of course we need this one. We need this one. We don't need this. I would love to still copy again here. Copy this line, paste it here. We're not gonna slice anything, gonna display everything in there. And then for the table, digest map digest and t-row return a table row which contains this data. So the first one is gonna be label, right? And here we're gonna have tick dot total dot to fixed, and close it, open it again, say tick dot unit. Oh, let's see, boy. Okay, we need to make it scrollable so you can be able to scroll through this table. So this is CSS stuff. The height of the height of the inner, and to make it scrollable, all we need to do is to make sure that you allow overflow, right? Overflow, and we can specify in the y direction, be scrollable. Let's see. So base match, this is it. So this is the information of the carrot cake. I I don't think we removed the name. Who is the model? Yeah, we didn't use the label here. Whew, it's been going on. Okay, so we can also hide this scrollable thing, this scroll bar. Let's remove it. It makes the UI look ugly. So is it the inner model inner? No, and we can say WebKit scroll bar display none. Close this tab. Cool. Basically, this is it. All right. So yeah, click here. It's a sprinkle cake bites. Okay, let's go to the home page. Search what? Search, let's just say burger or chicken burger. I don't know if this will chicken. Wow, can't type chicken burger. There we go, right? So we get these things and say you are interested in this one. You're gonna click more. You see, you get this. Click on garden chicken burger with strawberry sauce. Garden chicken burger with strawberry sauce. You see the information, and then you can scroll here to see how much it contains. Yep, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was a long video, and so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Please, I just have a request to make. Please make sure. Oh, also, let's see if we can say uh potato here and search. Oh, we didn't implement this, damn it. So we need to implement it, but then that's the end of the video basically. So we just need to implement this. So while we are implementing this, please guys, make sure that you subscribe and you hit the like button and leave a comment down below, right? So when we click on search, on click search recipes, that's the function we need to implement. It's gonna be a short one because we have already implemented this. We're gonna need to have an async here. Data, simply like this. Actually, I think it's gonna be like this. Yeah, let's see. um potato, potato, everything potato here. And then now let's see if you say cabbage, and then the result changes. Yes, that's the end, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I hope you really did. And please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below. Thank you. Wow, it's clean. Yeah, clean, it's clean, it's clean, it's clean.